Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to our family meeting every
Saturday.
third Saturday of the month. We're here 12 noon, bringing you some great information. My name is Craig. I am one of your peer recovery coaches.
Hi, welcome. I am Karen, and I am also a recovery coach.
And so today we want to talk about the role of family in addiction recovery. This is a family meeting, and so as we understand it, I believe from the DSM module that addiction is not only an individual disease, but it also affects the family. That's what I want to say.
Mm.
It affects the family. And so this article is brought to you by Behavioral Health /centers.com. And so I'll begin, or you want to begin, Karen?
You can start.
I'll start. Okay. All right. And so once again, the title of it says the role of family in addiction recovery. When people discuss the impact of addiction, the focus is often on the addicted individual who no one endures the consequence of chronic substance abuse at the same level as the user. Family members are frequently a close second, making family addiction recovery an important factor to a drug-free lifestyle. Okay, and so according to SAMHSA, Center for Behavioral Health Statistics and Quality, national surveys on drug use and health, right? It says about 1 in 8 children, 8.7 million, age 17 or younger, live in households with at least one parent who had a past year substance use disorder. And so there is a big number from the stats that I just read to you. 1 out of 8 children, which is 8.7 from the age 17 or younger, have someone in the household who has either used once or are in the process of using some type of substance use disorder. Families affected by addiction, particularly children, are at increased risk for maltreatment compared with other households. Addiction is a disease that impacts the whole family. Those closest to an alcoholic or a drug-addicted individual have unique roles in the development of addiction and will play an enormous part in the subsequent recovery. And so not only do the individual, as I stated before, is affected, but the family as well. And the article says that it takes the whole family to bring about a change during the process and after the process. Okay.
So the devastating impact of addiction on families. In recent years, the American Family Unit has shifted away from traditional nuclear family to one that comes in all forms. There are single-parent households, blended families, multi-generational families, and foster families. The makeup of your family unit will influence the impact that addiction has on it. For example, a parent of a small children may try and overcompensate for the shortcomings of his or her substance abusing spouse, while children of an alcoholic may begin taking on adult-like responsibilities that are not indicative of their developmental stage. Children often create intricate systems of denial to shield them from the realities of a parent's alcohol or drug abuse habit. In situations with aging parents of addicted children, the parents often maintain overly dependent relationships with their children, keeping them from valuable learning experiences during this transitional period. One well-regarded study outlined multiple characteristics that are likely to be found in a family unit where parents or children are abusing alcohol or illicit drugs.
Well, I like from this article, it talks about how children have to take on the role as adult-like in the household with responsibility. If they're living in a family unit, where the parent is using drugs, and it takes away from the development as a child, the normalcy of growing and developing with their peers. And so the article talks about how they have to basically tell stories or try to hide the parents or addictions. So it says children often create an intricate system of denial to shield them from the realities of a parent alcohol or drug abuse habit. And so I'm just thinking, I'm imagining in my mind as a young person who has a parent who's going through that, how they are taking on many roles, taking on many responsibilities. Whether they're the oldest child who have to take care of the younger children while the parents is not there. And so a lot of times when others inquire about the parent, or they have to shield or make up stories to so that they don't feel as an outcast from normalcy of other households. Because a lot of times, children may grow up, like when I was coming up, I had a friend, and their mother was someone who drank alcohol a lot, and they would have to basically stay in the house to not only because they have to watch over their mother, because their mother would, I guess, get too drunk, and for fear of her hurting herself or doing something embarrassing, they will always be in the house, just not coming out playing with us. And so they had to take on a different role in their childhood.
Yeah, and also I wanted to share. So it is true. I feel like in my household, it always felt like although my father was there, I always felt like I was being raised by a single parent. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I did take on some adult responsibilities. I really enjoyed playing cross country, running cross country.
Oh, okay. Athlete, huh?
Yeah. and I felt, no one really asked me, but I guess it's that taking on an adult responsibility or an adult role. But I realized the struggles that we were going through, and I decided to quit cross country and go to work so that I could help at least cover my own expenses, and it wouldn't be such a burden on my mother, because I know she was struggling in supporting all of us financially. So that's very interesting. And then about creating the intricate systems, I think my system of denial was school and sports and friends. I was never home. Anything that could keep me away from my house, I would do. So I engaged in sports, and when I didn't, I would spend all evening at work after school, and pretty much just be home to sleep. And that was my way of not really facing the reality of my house situation. So it's very true.
That's some good insight, because I never looked at it from that aspect of a child who's going through that, where they will find some other avenues to challenge their energy in a positive way.
Yeah.
You challenge yours in a positive way. You work, you socialize with your friends, you took on responsibilities financially. So that's great. I mean, because as we know that that's not the case for some children who face with that situation. They become users because they take on the behavior, but you challenge yours. But you have some good coping skills. I don't know where you got them from, but that's good.
I have to thank the people that surrounded me too. I think I was surrounded by positive people and good influences, if you would say.
Yeah. That is so sure. So Whoever watching this, please share this, like, subscribe, let us know what we're doing right, wrong, indifference. But we're here for you. So, you want to continue? Karen?
You want to take turns reading it?
Sure, why not?
You started the first.
So there's 6 examples or bullets that we're going to read and share from this topic, and it says number 1 is negativism. Yeah, all communication among family members is negative, coming in the form of complaints and criticism. The overall mood of the home is a negative one.
Yeah. You can feel that too.
Yeah, you can feel it. Yeah,
As soon as you enter a house and you're like, oof,
it's negative.
it's like something weighing down.
Like a dark cloud is hovering. Wow.
The second one is parental inconsistency. The home is an environment that lacks stability, clear boundaries, or any form of consistent enforcement. Children are confused because they don't know what to expect from parents and cannot adjust behavior accordingly.
Mm-hmm. It's almost similar like the scenario I described my childhood friend. You know, it was all they didn't really, apparently they had to stay in the house because they didn't know what to expect, you know, whether they were going to be safe, whether, you know, or whatever. The third one, parental denial. Regardless of mounting evidence and an abundance of signs, parents steadfastly deny their children as any addiction or substance abuse problem. Has any addiction or abuse problem.
The fourth one is miscarried expression of anger. Due to the lack of proper functioning in the home, children or parents are likely to express displeasure and outrage in the form of substance abuse.
Mm-hmm. And number 5 is self-medication in an effort to cope with the negative atmosphere in the home or with feelings of depression or anxiety. Parents and children may resort to drugs or alcohol use. And so, as we was discussing earlier, Karen had some good coping skills where she decided not to use, and it works out well because look at her now. She's doing great. So,
And then unrealistic parental expectations. By parents setting expectations too high, children either obsessively strive to overachieve while never feeling anything is good enough, or completely excuse themselves from doing anything because they feel failure is inevitable. It's interesting.
yeah.
I feel like in the last aspect, if you have 2 children, you can kind of see both roles play out. I feel like the oldest child is always like the overachiever, and then the younger one is always like the one feeling like they can excuse themselves from anything.
Escapism. All right. The next topic we want to talk about the important family role in addiction recovery. Family therapy is substantial to successful addiction recovery treatment. The spouse, children, parents, and siblings of people with addiction are affected on multiple levels by their loved one's substance abuse. Likewise, these people also have a positive or negative impact on the development of addiction. When someone you care for has a drug or alcohol abuse problem, the natural reaction is to want to do whatever you can to help him or her fix the problem. And so that is so true because naturally our hearts go out for our loved ones, you know, and as the article said, we are so attached that we want the best for the person, whether it be our brother, our sister, mother, father, whoever it may be, or friend. You know, we always want the best. In general, the intentions are always good, but it can be difficult to make the distinction between helping and enabling. That is so true. I still remember this documentary I was watching, and the mother She wanted her daughter to be so much safe. She knew her daughter was using drugs, but she was using hard drugs, and her daughter was adolescent. And so what the mom would do, she preferred to have the daughter in the home using the drugs as opposed to
Like letting her
let
be
her.
out on the street.
Yeah, and so that's the distinction from she was, instead of her helping her, she was doing more harm than good because she was feared that something may happen to her, and so she felt relieved or comfort that her child was at least in the house. But there is alternatives to helping someone. We don't have to allow them to continue on in that state. In short, helping is doing something for someone who cannot do it alone. Enabling is doing something for a person who can and should be handling the task solo. That's a good distinction. Yeah. From helping into enabling. The article says helping is doing something for someone who cannot do it alone. Enabling is doing something for a person who can and should be handling the task solo. Mhm. All right, and we're going to talk about what is enabling.
So what is enabling? It is enabling behavior can manifest itself in many forms and includes any behavior that shields a substance abuser from facing the consequences of his or her actions. While it may seem like you're helping your husband by covering for him when he misses work due to drinking too much the night before, you're really just enabling him to continue abusing alcohol without any fear of negative ramifications. Many times, the hope is that by protecting the substance abuser from job loss, financial ruin, poor academic performance, and other negative results of addiction, that eventually he or she will recognize the error in their ways and decide to change. The problem with this thinking is that these very consequences that often lead substance abusers to it's these very consequences that often lead substance abusers to get help. By protecting your loved one from the inevitabilities of drug or alcohol abuse, you enable him or her to keep going down the wrong path. There's a very interesting picture, and I wanted to show it up on the screen, but I couldn't because I feel like it's a picture perfect of what enabling is. And it's pretty much a guy sitting down on a couch, surrounded by alcoholic beverages, and then another person with a shield, and then there's like a piggy bank, a repo notice. So that's like an imagery of what enabling is. So you're letting the person continue to use the substance while protecting them from all the consequences that come their way.
So the piggy bank represents the financial responsibility, repo notice, where they have a bill for something that's going to be confiscated.
Divorce.
Yeah.
And then subpoena, legal issues.
Oh yeah, I see all three of them. Oh, wow, that is a good picture. I wish we would have been able to show it.
Yeah, I couldn't download it.
All right, they give us some examples of enabling behavior. And it says, making excuses for your addicted loved one's behavior, lying to cover up the drinking or drug use. What else it says? It says, bailing him or her out of jail or paying legal fees, avoiding discussions about substance use for fear that the response will be negative, having to pay bills that the addicted person was supposed to pay, like the financial bills or the repo car or whatever, loaning money for drugs or alcohol purchases, trying to drink or do drugs with your addicted loved one to strengthen the relationship, threatening to leave but never doing so, finishing tasks that your addicted family member was supposed to finish. What is helping? We just talked about enabling. Now we're going to talk about how do you help someone with addiction. Watching your spouse, sibling, children, or parent fight a losing battle with addiction can be frustrating and heartbreaking. In many cases, it can become overwhelming and cause close family members to lose hope and withdraw from the addicted individual. If he doesn't care, why should I? Is a common sentiment felt under these circumstances. However, it's at this time that your loved one needs you more than ever before. Left untreated, alcoholism and drug addiction almost always get worse. No matter how upset you are with your addicted loved one, giving up on him or her is never the answer. All right? So we want to be encouraging, and so I know it can be frustrating. It's a battle. It's a tough battle, and we always know, or we always hear that if they're not ready, ain't nothing you could do for them. But we can always encourage them until they get ready, because you never know what may change a person's attitude or behavior towards the drugs that they're using. So as the article say, and I'm going to repeat it, don't give up. We're not going to give up. And so if you know somebody that need help, send them here. We're going to do all we can to link them up to some type of services.
So here are some ways that you can help. The first one is educate yourself. One of the most important family role in addiction recovery is to know the signs and symptoms of addiction and learn about its impact on the user and those closest to him. You should learn everything you can about addiction. I think this is very important. I don't think I really educated myself about substance abuse or use until my father decided to get into recovery. I was one of those people that also thought it ended with him going to treatment and all of our problems were solved. I feel like it was definitely not, it was far from the truth. So educating myself, understanding how the person thinks and the triggers and a lot of those aspects of substance abuse was very important to understanding why, my father was the way I guess why he behaved the way he did and all that.
And so as we continue in the same breath of here are some ways you can help addiction recovery, you can say something. Don't just stand idly by while your loved one keeps getting worse. Speak up and let your concerns be heard. In many cases, the addicted party may not have realized how substance abuse had become habitual. Don't wait for rock bottom. Wow, I didn't really understand. I really never looked at it from that aspect. It says speak up. In other words, it's saying they may not get it the first time. The more you say, the more you let them know that you love them and you care for them. The more you say it enough, maybe one day they just may realize their habitual behavior. Right?
Be drug and alcohol free. It will be hard for you to say something about a person having a substance abuse problem if you have one yourself. It's funny.
And it says,
I said it's funny because it's like it gives me like what is that word? Hypocrite.
Hypocritical. Oh, okay. And it says, don't expect an immediate change. It's nearly impossible to overcome alcohol and drug abuse without treatment and very difficult to do so with it. Be realistic about your expectations. The family role in addiction recovery can last for months or even years. Additionally, coping skills developed through time with the proper treatment and family support system. And so even people who are coming out of treatment, A lot of times, oh, we send someone away and they come out of detox. They think, oh, I'm healed. I got it all together. Even if they go away to residential treatment for 1 month, they still, if they don't really understand the severity of the behavior of addiction, they may come out and think that, oh, I'm clean, I'm good. I don't need to go to no support groups. I don't need to go to no NA, no AA. And that goes vice versa with the family member as well. So the article talks about sticking with the recovery person. It may take months, it may take years. Same stroke for the person that's in early recovery. It may take months and it may take years. Don't give up. All right?
Be the support he or she needs to overcome addiction. Once your loved one decides to get treatment, the onus falls on you and others close to him or her to attend meetings. Provide a substance-free environment and be a shoulder to lean on during rehab and throughout recovery. The emotional weight that family often bears can be healed in these support group therapy sessions.
Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. And the whole gist of the whole thing is the role of family in addiction recovery. Not just the individual, but the whole entire family. And so we thank you for watching us again, being a part of this family meeting. This is a hybrid. This is not always a virtual where you're not welcome to come. Please call us here at the office, 856-391-7449, or stop by 72 North Pearl Street here in the great city of Bristol, New Jersey. And if you'd like to be a part of it, we embrace you, we welcome you. And once again, my name is Craig. You have a blessed day.